What's up, everybody? Hammer's Legacy back for another episode of Wild on the Rift. Really excited for this one. We have Tobias on, and if you haven't played the game yet, this is going to be a great episode for you guys to listen to and watch because he's going to give a lot of details and insight for the game and the beta and how it goes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Do all the like and subscribe stuff, and hope you enjoyed the episode. What's up, everybody? Legacy back for another episode of Wild on the Rift, and today on the show I have Tobias, and he is actually one of my content creators and players to look out for in North America for Wild Rift. So Tobias, say what's up to everybody.
Hey man, what's up?
So first off, thanks for being on the show, and like I usually do, I like to do introductions. So tell me about your mobile past, your history, and what got you into basically getting into Wild Rift.
Okay, so when I first started, it was in high school, and I saw a friend playing League of Legends, and I wanted to get in on too because it looks really fun, right? So I begged my mom to buy me a computer for school, but it was actually for me to play League of Legends, right? So I played League of Legends, and I played it for 4 years until I got out of high school, and I stopped because it took so long. It took at least 40 minutes to play a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then usually we have things to do, right? Because I come from an Asian family, right? And you gotta do things quick. And if they say it, you gotta do it. And if you don't do it, you get the your butt whooped, right? So basically, it took too long, and then I lost interest in League for quite a while, and I went to college. But then I still love MOBAs, and I found a game. I think it was a 3v3 game. It was back then, before I think Arena Valor existed, before VG existed, and it was pretty fun. That's where I met Sleepy too in a 3v3 MOBA game, and I met plenty of other players too as well. And after that, ML came out, and then I think Arena Valor came out in EU, I think, and I started getting into MOBAs, and then I started playing AOV when it came out in December of 2018, I think, and it was pretty fun. And then I got hooked onto it, and I started I wanted to be the best, so I started trying my hardest to get up there. So
Nice. How high did you climb in Arena Valor?
So in Arena Valor, I was playing as a support, right? So I had a trio, and I would just trio, and we would climb all the way up to top 20. So I was top 18 support at that time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Were you as good as beginnings?
I think not quite as good as beginnings, because beginnings is really good. I think Rest is really good, and that's who I aim to beat in the future. He was my idol for the longest time, but unfortunately, he stopped playing AOV at that time.
Hey, there may be all kinds of people coming back for Wild Rift, and that's the beautiful thing about this game is it's going to unite 3 major communities together to create one massive community. So I'm pretty excited to see how this goes. So you've actually got to play the game. Most people in NA are unlucky, and we'll talk about that later down the line. But you've actually got to play the game, and you've played it on, I'm assuming, 300 ping. So
Yes,
what are your initial thoughts and impressions of the game? How does it look? How does it play? How does it feel? Is there anything that you like better from the mobile version to the PC version? Just give us your thoughts on it for the people that are excited to play this game. They're in NA and maybe don't have the chance till 2021 to play it.
Okay, so honestly, the game looks absolutely amazing. It looks better than it does on PC. PC is 10 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
It looks okay. But then think of Wild Rift, and it looks 100 times better, right?
Because it seems the characters, they will revamp the characters, the new characters coming out, but everything else looks the same, but
right, yes. Right. But it feels like I'm playing actual League of Legends, but on my phone. It's just really fast. Fast pace. It gives you enough time. 15 to 20 minutes. That's a good amount of time to play.
So you brought up the pace, and earlier you said like most normal League games, you're right, are about 40 minutes long. Even an
Right,
ARAM can take that long.
right.
With the mobile version being a 15 to 20-minute game, like, do you think the players that I guess maybe AOV players may be more inclined to adapt to this game quicker, or do you think just because it's like a whole new game and a whole new system that everyone's still gonna have to adapt?
Um, well, to be honest, if you are a mobile player, you already have the feeling of joystick control, so you already got used to it. But I think league players have the upper hand because they have years of experience of playing the game, and that they can transfer over into Wild Rift. But pretty much AOV players, they could be ahead right now overall.
I mean, just from my just initial looks, like it looks like this most similar to AOV. I know
Hmm.
VG players had to have the touch tap and all that stuff,
Right.
which is great, which I could see maybe them implementing in Mobile Legends. I feel is a more, how do I say this, arcadey, I guess. I don't.
Art,
Yeah,
like cartoony
yeah,
look
yeah. So,
feel.
but
Yeah.
that still does have the thumb joysticks.
Right.
But I do think the graphics look immaculate, and like as we've seen, like new characters are being announced from the initial, I believe, what 37 or 47.
Hmm.
So like Lee Sin, Draven, Seraphine. I don't know how you pronounce that. Akali, Kaisa, I believe they said, and like Kaisa is interesting because I want to know. I believe I forget who it was. Was it Yikes or someone out there that asked about the ultimate? Like, how are you going to select the dashing mech? So,
Right.
have you seen any differences from say players that you played on PC that you liked how they adapted their character and how they feel like as far as their S1, 2, 3, or 4, or their for PC players QWE and R on the mobile? Does it seem pretty seamless, or is it like you kind of have to think about how to use their ability?
Well, if you're a PC League player and you have experience playing the champion on PC, it's really similar to the PC version. It's just depending on the player itself how they use it. But overall, if you have the knowledge on it, it would play exactly just like in PC League.
Oh. Okay, so since you played, you said I think I've watched your streams, and I'll be honest, I'm trying not to watch the game that much because I want to be like just in awe, like an authentic first time when I play it and record. I want that authentic feeling. So I've seen some
Right.
pretty cool stuff on like the character select screen that's obviously unique to Wild Rift. But you said you've been playing support now. I think you play support at least on the ones I saw you were playing support. Who do you
Right.
feel is strong now as far as character wise? Just from the base characters. Do you feel like
Base.
there will be like a specific meta, or do you think since it's going to be a whole new game that anything's up in the air?
To be honest, since it's a really new game, I think um, anything could happen.
Mm.
Like metas that we don't think exist. Like it exists in PC, but it wasn't good at that time. It could exist in Wild Rift or like picks like never seen before in the bot lane. Like for example, Oriana, you could play her as a support,
Mhm.
or you could play either like Pantheon or
Mm.
like champions like that. Like you never expect it to be played. You know.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be, and I'll be honest. I think once people start figuring out the roles, I think a lot of the assassins that generally would go mid in
Yeah.
a PC version are gonna be all in the jungle. I think they're all gonna go to the jungle. I think like Zed is gonna go to the jungle. I think even Ari may go to the jungle. Her clear might not be as fast, but if there's like a leash, I think a lot of those, especially the mobile ones, are gonna the characters with mobility are gonna go to the jungle. That's just my thought on it. But who knows? Maybe we'll see some Ezreal mids and stuff. Like,
Great. I
but
mean, for me, I've seen a lot of Ezreal mid. Like they're right now, people are running double marksman, and it's pretty strong right now.
that's like
Since
the the ML meta.
yeah, true. But like double marksman, like it exists in PC League too, so there's
Mhm.
not really much you can
Yeah,
complain about,
that's true.
right?
Right now, Lee
It's
Sin
just
is mid.
Yeah, he can be played mid or top
or
or
top.
bot, but they rather play him in solo lane. So
I mean,
yeah,
that's
pretty much.
true. Any character counter that can give your lane the advantage. I mean, that's really all
Right,
it is. And
right.
then it's up to your AD and AP builds. You want to have that synergy throughout your team. So that's actually really interesting to see. Who have you played right now, and what character is like your favorite?
So I think I played almost every single role by now. I should have like at least 200 games on it. But for support, I love Blitzcrank. He's
Yeah,
really strong. I think Blitzcrank is really really strong right
I
now.
think Blitz will be a
Um,
permaban.
yeah, Blitz for sure probably permanent ban. Um,
I noticed there's a lot of enchanters. A lot of enchanters.
yeah, a
So
lot.
that's gonna be interesting, and I'm sure all the items are the same. They won't get the 2021 item upgrades. So I'm pretty sure like the Arden sensor and all that stuff's gonna be pretty much the same build path. If
Yes, yes.
so, I looks like the people that will be able to master the more mechanical supports like Alistair and people like that, the engaged ones, I think could have an advantage. I could be wrong though. If it's all like range versus range, I don't know.
Yeah. So it's kind of similar to like the PC like bot lane meta. It's like enchanters are pretty good, but it's the same thing as like range versus melee and stuff like that. It's pretty annoying to play against if you're melee into a range.
Mhm.
And range is always gonna abuse the melee players.
You gotta hope you hit that level 2 all-in spike.
Right.
Right on, right on. So, any character you're disappointed in? Because I know that some of the characters that initially launched on the release from like last year, literally, I think it was literally like last year, today or yesterday. I was surprised in some of them, but then I had to realize like maybe to take them from PC to mobile. I had to think about that. Is there any characters that you're disappointed that are not in the game that you think should be in the game?
So in the initial roster, I wish like let's see. I wish like the basic champions that were easier to port in put in the initial. Like I want to see like Gangplank,
Mm.
Irelia, like the mechanically intense champion. I like
Ooh,
yeah, like
yeah.
to like like I want to see what Riot comes up with. Like how do they port these champions into mobile? Because
Mhm,
like if you check it out, like Lee Sin, right?
mhm.
Like if you think about it, how would you do the Lee Sin combos, right?
Yeah,
The famous insect. You know the famous insect, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So like QQ
Interesting.
and then W and then
Mhm.
R into your team,
Yep.
pretty much. But
That's interesting to think about because when you have someone like Aurelia who
mhm,
focuses on last hitting with her dashes to her
right.
minions,
Mhm.
and then her blade dance as well, like how do you like I don't know, you're gonna have to tap the screen twice to like
Mm,
release that? I don't know.
probably.
Which is fine with me. I know on Assassin Dave's um interview, he talked about how he felt maybe the game and some of the characters were too complicated. And that's actually where I kind of disagreed with him. I think it should be. You should have characters that you need to master. There's a reason why in PC League there's mastery points.
Right.
I don't think it should be every character should be built like a Garen, where it's just you can just jump on the rift and you can play any game you want and just tank it and then just run down through mid. I want that mechanical outplay, like you said, with the
Right.
Aurelias, and you have even Zed. Zed will the famous Zed outplays, by Faker and
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can
I remember
still
that
do
one.
that. Like, and even like a Zoe, like a character like a Zoe, how are you gonna initiate that? And then one of the things I'm curious too about is the ultis that you can go across the map on. Like, how does TF's
Oh,
ult work? Have you tried that? Is it pretty simple
yeah.
to use? Like,
So the way TF alt works is it's basically you just click on the ultimate,
mm-hmm,
and then like how TF works in PC League,
mm-hmm.
it will reveal all the enemies on the map. And then basically you just drag the ultimate
Okay.
to the location you want to teleport to. So it's really good because it shows it
Oh,
shows the correct spots you want to be in. It's not like how
that's
you just
okay.
yeah
That's
if you,
cool. That's
yeah
cool.
instead of like tapping on the map, like
I was gonna say,
on the
would you
like the
do you tap the map and then you accidentally use your ultimate? Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you wanna accurately teleport to the correct location and then use your abilities and stuff like how you would do in
Mhm.
PC League.
Have you had any successful gold card stuns after your teleport?
Honestly, since I'm a support main, I had like no like thoughts in mind to get TF, but
Mhm.
like I mostly got all the supports for my role, to be honest.
Nice, nice. Okay, okay. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about is I remember in one of the dev videos, they talked about how the drakes worked and how certain drakes gave certain buffs. And specifically to actual champions, is that correct? Like, I don't know if you saw that, but like they were talking about how like the Infernal like gave Shyvana like special
Yeah,
abilities.
so Shyvana is a special character, and they felt like adding like if Shyvana, since she is a dragon, like
Uh-huh.
technically a dragon. So they gave her like a new passive, I think. So it's whenever you killed a certain Drake, you get a certain buff for Shyvana,
Oh,
right? It's only I think it's only for Shyvana. That's what I think.
wow. Way to just like max her gameplay ability.
Right, right, yeah. Mhm.
Interesting, interesting. So the Drake timings, do you have the times down yet? Like, do you know how the Drakes spawn?
Um,
And do you actually get to like a soul? Is there even a soul in the game?
yeah, there is a soul in the game. Oh wait, I meant
What?
like
So
you meant
like,
like a soul point, right? You
yeah,
meant soul
like
point.
so
Oh,
there's
okay, okay. So so it's not so the Wild Rift PC Drakes, like Wild Rift Drakes, are actually kind of different, but in a sense they're the same. So in PC League, you have four elemental drakes,
Mhm.
and then if you kill the fourth one, it spawns an not inferno, but like an elder drake.
Elder
And
Drake.
when you kill the elder drake, you get a buff, right? And
Mhm.
it's whenever you get an enemy to a like a low percentage, it would automatically execute them.
Yeah, it's an execute.
Hmm.
So
But
what
yeah,
about when you get the fourth Drake? Do you get the soul then?
yeah, you get the soul in PC League. You get the soul, so it's basically it spawns the first three Jake. It spawns
Man,
random element.
that does spawn fast then.
Yeah, yeah. So like in PC League, it spawns three drakes of not three drakes, but like it spawns each one spawns differently.
Mhm.
So the first one it could be either inferno, cloud, mountain, or ocean. The second one you cannot spawn the one you just killed earlier, so it's from the remaining three. And the last one is gonna be the third one. You know the map changes, right?
Mhm.
So like Inferno, the terrain is burned down, and then Ocean is like it gives you more region, more
Wait,
bushes.
does it do that in Wild Rift too?
No, 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 no. So
Oh,
I
bro,
wish,
I was so excited.
dude, I wish,
I
man, I
was like,
wish.
"No way."
I mean, it could possibly be put in there. You know, they're thinking about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, pretty much in Wild Rift, it's just the same system applies. It's just that no, the map doesn't changes, and the final dragon is going to be a random, but it's going to be like a powerful, not a powerful buff, but it's like it's going to be like extra stats, you know,
Mhm.
like the previous Drake. So let's
Yeah.
say, for example, your team takes Inferno Drake down.
Mhm.
It grants you eight, I think, eight ability power and 8% AD,
Mhm.
right? So if you killed the Inferno, I think it's Inferno Elder Drake, you get I think 12% instead of 8%. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it increases the buff that you originally had.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, and then what about the Rift Heralds? Are there 2 Rift Heralds or 1?
Apparently there's only one because they don't want two ref Taro. That would be way too
That'd be
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can just see, like, getting 1 Rift Herald and, like, the game's over, though, like, since they're so short, so I'm so interested
Really?
in, like, to see how, like, how this works because
Real-
the Rift Herald will spawn at what, like, 4
I think
minutes
around
then?
6 minutes. I think around
6
six
minutes?
minutes
Okay.
because they had to spawn the Drake first.
Okay, so the Drake probably spawns at, like,
4,
4?
yeah, yeah, probably
Okay.
around 4 or like 2. I'm not sure entirely sure.
Mhm. Oh, man, have you had any crazy, like, battles around the Scuttle Crabs then for, like, Drake and
Uh,
river control and all that?
Dude, there's so much battles, dude. Like honestly, it's so crazy. Like Scuttle Crab, like, I had to fight the other junglers for it, and the Drakes, I gotta fight the other team for it. It's really important to get those objectives, you know?
Mhm. I actually
'Cause-
love this because this game really is gonna be focused on the objectives.
Right, right. Like if I know you played AOV before too,
Mhm.
because you know how the dragon in AOV, it really doesn't
It
matter
doesn't
if you
do
take it.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. It just gives you golden experience, you
Yep.
know, and like you can just get that by farming up. And like the game in AOV is all about hyper farming, so you
Yeah.
know, and then do damage, you know.
Mhm.
But this game is like super objective focused. So junglers are actually important, and like you need to have a good jungler,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
the
like
clear speed, like, are you gonna go buff to start? Are you gonna
it really
vertical? Like, all
depends.
that stuff. Yeah, it
It
makes
really depends on the jungler because jungle is actually a complex role. So
yeah, I can never do that. I just have no concept
the-
of, like, the timings of the camps, the jungle routes and stuff. Like, if you ever see me play, that's why I never know where to shoot my hawk shot with Ash. So
right,
so
like you know expectation, right?
no.
Oh, so he's an EU content creator and like for AOV before back then,
Mm,
and then we had like beef like back then. He was playing on NA server like on 300 like 150 ping, and then later on we met for Wild Rift and we made up and stuff. And then I was asking him like if you can coach me in the jungle role. He's like jungle is actually a complex role, you know,
mhm,
like there's so much things you got to think about, right? And there's so many situations, right?
mhm.
And you just need the experience for it. If you
You
don't have
do.
the experience, yeah, if you don't have the experience, it's gonna be a really hard role.
I mean, look at it this way, there's a reason that Pro Guides and all those other YouTube channels have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos on the jungle. So, it's probably the most important role and probably going to be the most important role in this game as well. I feel
Right.
like if you could have a strong bot lane, a decent mid, and a decent top, but if your jungler isn't helping you go to get objectives and vice versa, like if support's not dropping vision, like the jungle role, like just like the meta now at Worlds is super important.
Right, right. You just got to play for your jungle, you know? They got
Mhm.
to get the objectives and secure it.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so do the games snowball hard, or have you had any crazy like comebacks?
So the games, I think I play from my standpoint, the game's like it lasts quite a while. Like normally it's to like 15 minutes to like 20 minutes. And sometimes people get ahead, but it takes super long to actual end the game. I think it's either due to because people don't know how
They don't know
to
how to
end
end
the
the game.
games.
Yeah.
Right, right. So that's why the games take longer. But I think back then, you know, last patch, they had this buff where if you take towers in like a domino effect, like you take the first tower, you take the second tower, and you take the inhib tower, the base, it will give like a defense. And it was the buff was 66% like defense.
What?
Yeah, 66. So imagine five
Oh
people
man,
trying to take down like a 66% defense nexus, right?
that's
You can't take it.
savage.
Right, even though like you wiped an enemy team, if you do it in a domino effect, you
Mhm.
cannot take the nexus. It'll take you at least 30 seconds to kill the nexus with 66% defense
Oh
buff.
man, that's interesting. Very interesting. See, that's stuff that
Right.
because they don't have the
Mhm.
turret plating. So,
Yeah, but then they nerfed it to like 33, so it's much easier
okay,
now. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I'm glad they have it. But man, it's super annoying to end games. It took way too long to end games because of that buff.
Yeah, I can imagine. So any like critiques or changes you'd like to see in the game? Obviously, I know it's in the beta, but the global launch is coming for most of the world. But us, but we'll get to that in a little bit here. Any critiques that you wish, as far as like the role queue gameplay, any features you think would be cool to add? And then I'll ask my last question, and then I'll ask the question that Draggles has for me to ask pretty much everybody.
Okay. So I would say probably the fix like the matchmaking system
Mm,
because like I feel like the matchmaking system right now is like it doesn't matter what rank you are, you will match against either two tiers above you or two tiers below you. Like I had a game yesterday where I was like what silver two or not silver two, but I was silver one,
mhm.
and I had unranked on my team. dude, that's not fun at all. And like,
And you're
dude,
support, so you're trying to hard carry as a support?
dude, it's so hard to play support solo queue. Like honestly, dude, 300 ping. Like I need to have a good ADC, or my team needs to do well, right? So yeah, the matchmaking system, they really need to work on that, to be honest, because
Okay.
you know it's right now it's not good, you know. But
So you have to like preempt your shot like 3 seconds before.
yeah. Pretty much just you got things like think their steps, like where they're gonna walk, and just hopefully you do you hit them pretty much.
Imagine
Yeah.
how good you're gonna be on a clean server, because we're not gonna
Yeah,
have to
man.
deal with this 60 ping deal that
Yeah.
PC players have to deal with.
Right, yeah.
Um,
And another thing they could like change is probably the roll queue. I know roll queue won't be added at the start, but they might look into it in the future. But yeah, pretty much roll queue is pretty much needed if like it's gonna be really hell, in the first
well,
couple
can
days.
you duo and trio?
Yeah, you can do it in trio for sure, but like people like they don't know the game. And
True.
and the only
That's
answer we
why
can
I
give
think
them
you
is
have like as a bot lane and a jungler, and then that way you can
right,
control the bottom of the map every game.
right. Yeah, pretty
But you shouldn't
much.
have to do that. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to.
Right on. So my last thing, as we all saw today, Europe and everybody else is getting. I believe most of SEA is getting it on the 29th, and then Europe is after. Or is Europe on the 29th as well?
I think so I think the
Let me see.
majority of the C region are going to be open beta, or not
Mhm.
open beta, but it's going to be live,
Mhm.
in their regions. So and then the rest, like I think they announced
Where did I put?
EU, Vietnam.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're going to be in December.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. And then the heartbreaking, crushing news: the Americas in spring 2021. How
Yes.
do you feel about NA getting it last? Um, and what do you think like the reasons are? I know a lot of people threw some flame towards the devs way, which I feel like is horrible.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
like there's gotta obviously conditions in the world I think has to take a part of it. But maybe I'm a optimistic person, so I'm like, you gotta save the best for last.
Right.
But it also is disheartening because we'll probably play VPN on the SCA region and then play VPN on the EU region before we can
Right.
finally get it in NA, which I think was like the similar route for AOV as well, if I'm not
Yeah, it
mistaken.
was.
So it's nothing new to us, but it is something that we've been waiting for a year. And then to find that, hey, we're gonna get it, but not you guys.
Yeah.
It's interesting. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I feel a disappointment or disappointed, and I feel really sad. But I understand the viewpoint of the devs. Like they're doing their hardest to bring the game to
Hmm.
everyone, and like they're really excited for the game. But there's protocols that they need to follow and stuff like that
Hmm.
to ensure the game goes out smoothly, right?
Hmm.
So I'm all for that, and I don't mind.
And
But
especially like region to region, each region has its own different like rules and like guidelines for like their games and stuff. So
right. Hmm. Yeah, there's not much we can do except wait, to be honest. And like whining doesn't make them
it's
release
not
the
gonna
game.
make it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree on that. That's why we're all gonna grind on VPNs.
Yes,
It's
sir.
all gonna be VPNs, just like AOV and COD Mobile all over again, which I'm fine with. Which leads me to my next thing. What are you doing for content, man? I feel like you have the best opportunity right now. Do you have any channels that you're putting content on? I know you stream on
um,
Twitch.
so at the moment, I'm really conflicted right now to do content like for my YouTube channel because I'm unsure of like the community, like
Mhm.
what they want to see. Like they don't want to see 300 ping laggy player, playing, on the on the SEA server, Like I'm just thinking like I can't make guides either because like the game is still new and like I don't want to, start stuff,
I
like
got
it might.
something for you, bro.
You got something for me?
Yes.
All right,
So
what is
this
it?
is
What
what
is
I
it?
would be doing if I was playing the beta right now. I would go into the practice server, since there's literally no ping, right? Like there's no latency. I'd be going in there and practicing all the combos and releasing combo videos.
That's actually a good idea. I was
And then
thinking of it too.
damage and item builds. Like you can do that, bro. Like you could do that. Like, hey, here's your item build. Here, recall it this time. This is your cheater recall. I mean, go back to
Right.
your first back. It's gonna be if you're ADC, your first back BF sword. You want to hit enough farm to get that's the good first back, right? You want to get your BF sword. If you're a mage, do this. If you're a jungler, right now you could be practicing clearing all your camps and developing videos on that. Like that's what I would be doing personally. So I hope you take that so I can start watching them.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's the hard part is just starting for it, you know?
Absolutely. But that's why you're on my players content creator to watch for this game because I think you have a very high ceiling. You have good people around you. I believe the team that you have has a lot of potential. And it could be you guys could get slept on, which is I think even better.
True.
Which is even better. I mean, look at all the greats that always had a chip on their shoulder. I mean, and I hate to say this, but Tom Brady's one of them. Always had a chip on his shoulder. One of the greatest quarterbacks, if not the greatest quarterback ever.
Right.
So, last question is going to be this is from Draggles. When I first posted I was doing these, he said, "What can the devs do to help?" Let me actually pull the exact quote up here. Okay, what can the devs do to help support content creators and streamers like you guys in the community? Like, what can they do to help build you guys up?
Um, I'm since it's my first time like doing all this stuff, I have like no answer for that. Maybe like I think the LPP system maybe. Not,
Oh,
not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure if that's the correct answer here, but like maybe the LPP system for content creators, stuff anything like that. To be honest.
awesome. Any last words? Any things that you wanted to say that you didn't get to touch on? You can do that now. Do your shout outs. Maybe you want to shout out your Twitter, your social medias, your team, your mom. I don't know. Like, go ahead and do that now.
Actually, I haven't. I don't have much to say, but like just follow me on Twitter or Twitch. I'll be live on there sometimes. I'm trying to be a good person. I made it a goal this year to be a better person. I'm trying to make up with a lot of people I had beef in the past, but yeah, pretty much that's all I have to say.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show. And one of the best parts about new games is they bring new opportunities, man.
Right.
Chances for you to redeem yourself. And I'm look forward to seeing you on the Rift. If you guys don't know, follow Tobias on Twitter. It's at TobiasWR _. And I believe I think that's the same Twitch as well.
Yes, for Twitch as well. Yes.
So he's been streaming. I think daily or every other day. So I pop in and watch it
every other day. Pretty much every other day.
Make sure you guys watch him if you want to see some OP 300 ping support play. But beyond that, I hope to see you again in a few months after the full release is out so we can do a follow-up interview. And thanks for being on episode 4. I am Legacy 4 Wild on the Rift saying thanks for watching, guys, and peace.